Hi, my name is Kevin Fernandez and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today, we're going to learn how to play the constructive deck building game, Fort. This 2 to 4 player game designed by Grant Roddick and published by Leader Games. As a kid, you really have very little problems. All you want to do is hang out with your friends, play with your toys, and eat your pizza. And build the coolest fort on the block. But be careful, as you carefully put together your deck, sometimes some of your friends might feel a little neglected, and you don't want to hang out with them anymore. And of course, none of your friends will want to hang out with someone who doesn't want to hang out with them. So they're going to go hang out with one of the other neighborhood kids. Will you be the coolest kid on the block or a sad loner? Find out as we go to the table and learn how to play Fort. Determine the starting player randomly. Give the first player card to the starting player. Collect supplies of all 30 pizza tokens and 30 toy tokens. Each player takes a player board and the 2 best friend cards that go with it. You can tell it's a best friend card by the star next to the name. If you're not sure who your best friends are, you can always check the back of your player board. Take your matching player board's fort level marker and place it in the 0 space on your player board. Take your scoring marker and place it on the 0 of the scoring track. Return any unused player boards back to the box. Place the macaroni sculpture next to the victory track. Shuffle all 11 made-up rule cards and deal them into a face-down stack equal to the number of players plus 1. So we have a 2-player game, so that's 1, 2, 3. Shuffle the 9 perk cards and deal them face up in a row equal to the number of players plus 1. So again, that's 1, 2, 3. Shuffle all 60 kid cards into a face-down park deck, placing it near the victory track. Deal 3 kid cards from the park deck to the park, down here, making a face-up row. Each player draws 8 kid cards from the park deck. Players may look at their own cards, but don't show it to others. Each player shuffles their 8 kid cards plus their 2 best friend cards to form their starting deck. Each player draws 5 cards from their own deck. From this point moving forward, all kid cards will now be referred to as just cards. And that completes the setup. Now there is an advanced setup rule for Fort where you kind of do it more of a card drafting thing, but I'll let you discover that for yourself. Fort is played in a series of turns starting with the first player and going clockwise around the table until the game ends. The player taking the current turn is called the leader. The leader's turn has 5 phases in the following order. So the first phase is the cleanup phase. You discard all cards in your yard. There are none currently. So on your first turn, you would skip this phase. You can play a card, only 1 card from your hand. If you cannot or choose not to play, you may skip this phase and continue to the recruit phase. You may use the card's public action, private action, or both in either order. You must finish 1 action before starting another action. So, for example, for each glue card you played, this is Doodle's ability, you get a toy. That is the public action. Your private action, which has this little symbol right here, means that he gets a victory point for every item in your pack. If an action on your played card shows an X sign followed by a suit icon, you may improve it by playing more cards showing that suit. You may also add any matching suits on cards in your lookout. You cannot use the action on an added card. So, as I said, if you have any glue cards, you can get some toys. Since I do have another glue card, I can discard that and get 2 toys. You may also add matching suit cards in your lookout. So what that means is, if I had this glue card in my lookout, that would count towards that as well. And I would put them in my toy section down here. You cannot use this action if the cards were recently added in your lookout. You must use at least one action on your card fully. This includes any suits you add to improve your action. If you use one of the actions fully, though, you can use the other action partially or fully in either order. So if I manage to get all the victory points from this one, I can get like 2 toys even if I have like 3 glue cards. You cannot add a card if none of its suits serve a purpose. Whenever you add a card to improve your played card, at least one of its suits must change the effect of at least one action in that suit. After the leader resolves their card, the other players in turn order may follow the public action on the leader's played card. Doesn't matter whether the leader used the public action or not, these players are called followers. To follow a leader's public action, you must discard one card from your hand with a suit matching their played card. So, Jordan would have to discard Giggles here because it is a glue card, just like Doodles. She can discard it, and she can gain a toy because that's Doodle's public action. There are a couple limitations to following. You cannot discard more than one card. You cannot discard a card in your lookout, and you must use the action in full because you don't have another action to fall back on as the follower. There are a couple specific situations. If the leader played a coin card, the leader declares its suit, like so. Coin card, which is the suit you must discard to follow the leader. If the leader gathered a choice of toys or pizza, you must gather the chosen resource. You may follow by discarding a card with multiple suits as long as at least one suit matches the leader's played card. If it has 2 matching suits, count both. If the action shows an X-sign followed suit, yes, you can follow as many leaders as you wish before it gets back to your turn, as long as you discard a matching card each time. You must recruit one card and place it in your discard pile. You may recruit one of 3 ways. So the first one is you can take a card from the park and immediately add it to the discard pile, refilling the spot afterwards. The second way, taking it from a player's yard and adding it to your discard pile. The third way is just draw the top card of the park deck and add it there too. I do want to let my audiences know, yes, I did demo taking 2 cards, but on your turn you can only take 1 card. For the normal rules of Fort, I just did that for an example. Now we go to the discard phase. Discard all your played cards, so I get rid of this Doodles card, added cards, and any best friend cards left in your hand into your own discard pile. So, Ace and Sparky are my best friends. They go to the discard pile. Do not discard your lookout. That's a permanent card in the game. Discard piles are face up and public information. Then, place any cards you have left in your hand into your yard, face up and facing away from you. Draw 5 cards. If your deck is ever empty, take your discard pile, shuffle it back into your deck, and replenish your hand as normal. This is the only time you draw cards in Fort. You do not draw cards if you discard a card to follow. The leader completes all these steps and then ends their turn. Each player has a fort. Starts at level 0. You can increase your fort level by 1 with the advance for action, spending the resources listed between your cards, so here. So the first one is 2 of any. So I can spend the 2 toys I earned to increase my level by 1. Your lookout can hold up to 1 card, and your pack can hold up to 1 resource. Each level lets you hold 1 more card in your lookout and 1 more resource in your pack. When you reach fort level 1, you can privately choose 1 made-up rule. So, I'm choosing Slime Lab. Keep that secret from your opponent. When you reach fort level 2, you can publicly take a made-up rule. So, I'm going to take the extra large backpack. This one I can display with pride. When you reach fort level 5, you can take the macaroni sculpture unless another player already has it. This will grant you 4 victory points at the end. The end of the game triggers in one of 3 ways. Any player has 25 or more victory points on the victory track. Anybody reaches level 5 on the fort track, or the park deck is just empty. When the end of the game triggers, the leader finishes their turn, then players finish the current round of their turns, so that all the players have taken the same number of turns. At the end of the round, each player reveals their made-up rule cards. If you have any, adds up their victory points from their victory track, fort level, made-up rule, if any, and macaroni sculpture, if any. The player with the most points is the winner. If there's a tie, the tied player with the highest fort level wins. If still a tie, players share the victory. That's all you need to know to play Fort. If you have any questions about this game, please put them in the comments below, and I'll get to them as soon as I possibly can. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so it can help with getting that video out to other people. Also, make sure to share this video as well with your friends and family so they know that it exists. If you really enjoyed the channel as a whole, click on that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to be notified for videos like this. And if you really like it, you can consider becoming a Patreon page and support our channel for as little as $1 a month. I want to take some time to thank our current Patreon supporters. Your donations mean a lot to this channel. Be on the lookout for our upcoming gameplay video on Fort. But until then, thanks for the views.